Hey, everybody. Well, I have a very special guest with me today. Mr. PEC-Tacular, Jessie Godderz is here. Thank you.
As advertised.
And Scott Fishman from TV Insider is here for a special edition of What's Up Wrestling. So, Jessie, you are part of the cast of the second season of House of Villains on E! And it's airing Thursday nights, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. And you have to tell us how it is being in this villain house.
I mean, I'm appalled that I'm even considered a villain.
I'm
You guys, appalled.
I would never think that.
Thank
I am
you.
so appalled.
Thank you. How dare they? How dare they think that when I flex my muscles and elicit a true emotion because nobody can understand me, it's something to be mad at. It is not my fault that I wear my shoulders as a profession. Give me a break, people. It is harder to have abs in today's day and age than it is to become a millionaire in the United States of America, and that's a statistical fact.
Your Big Brother experience obviously has paid off dividends here. Like, do they realize, the people in your house, that I don't think they don't know who you are.
They don't have a clue. There's one person that might have like just a whiff of who I actually am, and that was Richard. And kudos to him. Like this, what a stud. Like talk about a true villain legend. None other than the first ever winner of Survivor. And I want him. How beautiful would it be, guys, if he would literally and figuratively pass me the torch and let me win House of Villains season 2. That's what we're going for. And
Well,
things are cooking up.
Yeah, I was going to say your strategy is pretty good because you're kind of in the background enough where you're not involved with the drama. You're kind of like that guy that's, the Michael Jackson meme where you're eating the popcorn while everything's unfolding. But I want to talk about the Battle Royale challenge, Battle Royals are something you're familiar with. Did you kind of mean to kind of delay your, going to that next room? Was that part of your gameplay?
I'm going to be frank with you. I'm not even going to be Jessie. All right.
Okay.
No, I 1000% wanted to win. I single-handedly made up that 60 seconds, obviously, because of New York's cute stunt of her just being herself, being her gimmick, right? And lo and behold, I get us to the show, and somehow I'm frantic, right? I just point me in the right direction, and like that's it. Like breakthrough wall, got it. Claw your way through this, no problem. Pull this until you can't pull no more. Consider it done. Go all the way to the end, and then now you have to look at I could not, like that was as true as it could possibly. You can't write this. You can't write reality television. You can't.
Yeah. What did you make of Larissa's exit? Did you kind of see the writing on the wall pretty much?
Yes, and to kind of fill you in on there was one little quick second there at the last little bit that Candy was trying to save her, and everything's very intentional. So take notes throughout this entire process because every little nuance, every person being, obviously banished out of the house definitely matters. Also, what we used to call like a sympathy vote, right, is in some people's eyes, them genuinely wanting them to stay, and people don't forget. So much like Big Brother, you have to have jury management. And to say that it's not already starting, I'm not going to give away anything. But what I'm saying is everything is very intentional. And later on in the game, things transpire because of things that are happening, on day 2. So
I wanted to ask you, was there any moment during this that you're like, I just want out of this house? Like, were you like, I'm out of this house. I don't care if I'm the bat. I want to be the villain. I want out.
Not at all. Because I don't know. Some of these guys might have made $200,000 in about 21 days. I mean, that's a pretty good chunk of change, no matter who you are. So if and when there's an opportunity such as this, no, like all I have to do is worry about myself. At home, I have to worry about 6 other people. I'm responsible for 6 other humans inside this world that rely on me, need me to be a dad, need to be a significant other, need me to be there for them. They don't care about the things that I've gone through, and all I have to do inside this world, granted I have to worry about 9 other kids still, But they're not all asking me to feed them, change them, do this, that, and the other thing I get to worry about. I got more in shape as the season goes on because I was able to not have to be the daddy garbage disposal of like all the fruit snacks and all this other stuff that's just left on the table because I don't want to waste food, if you will. So just letting you know, I got way better. Like just PEC-Tacular got more honed and refined.
There you go. I was curious, you know, is anyone in the house like a big wrestling fan? I mean, when you talk about your wrestling background, is there anyone that might surprise us that watches or?
Safari called me triceps that didn't air as soon as I walked in the door. He's like, yo, I'm not even going to call you pecs. I'm just going to call you triceps. I'm like, you know what? Some say that when you just the flattery will get you far. And Safari knows how to do that. And with his entire ensemble and just the walking, talking gimmick that he is, there's more merit to a compliment when it comes from the caliber of an individual such as Safari. So I'm over the moon. I'm just like, you know what? We're going to be best friends. I don't know if you need a friend right now, but I'm assuming you kind of do. I could be your friend through this. So let's like maybe see how this works out. And that might be the reason, you know, in episode 1, he actually decided, hey, you know what, Jessie, come along. Because I was down in the dumps. This is like Big Brother is happening all over again. I had an opportunity. It was in my hands. I squandered it. This is it. At every turn, I'm thinking that there's going to be a coup d'etat or America's favorite player vote. And I'm just going, expect the unexpected. Wham, bam, thank you, man. Here's a door that opens up in Supervillain season 2, and I'm going to fall out of it and just be out of the game. So I'm waiting for this to happen the entire time. But I don't think it's that level of competitive gameplay.
Ohio Valley Wrestling. So what's happening? Are you like what?
I'm here. I'm here for the show. I'm talking to Al literally this week. So we will see. We will see big things. We will see to what degree and what, you know, entertaining way we can kind of use the Mr. PEC-Tacular shtick and then go from there. But the biggest thing is
want another season.
What's that?
I want another season of the Wrestlers. I love that network.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you. And then, I mean, kudos to Cash Flow. Like this dude made it on Tulsa Kings and he's out there grinding with none other than obviously Big Sly himself. So he's up there and doing that stuff. So kudos to him, an opportunity that came from that. So, and a lot of people have been able to branch out because of wrestlers too. So it's really awesome.
When you think of how good you are with your in-ring skills and your wrestling and everything that you bring to the table, and you look at other wrestlers on the landscape in AEW, WWE, or wherever, are there people that you think up and comers are like, they've got it, they're really good, I can see them going far? Like, what's your kind of thoughts?
So I'll just take one dude in particular, Hook, that's with AEW. Obviously, he's got a pretty good learning tree, but nobody's like him. I've always been told, one, it's harder to get into professional wrestling than any other sport. It doesn't matter what it is, because somebody has to die, unfortunately, retire, or quit, right? And not many people are going to be quitting at that level. So how are you, say there's 100 spots and there's only 5 openings. Who are you taking? Like, whose spot are you taking? And Al will tell you this until he gets blue in the face. You have to be either more entertaining or better at their shtick than they are to take their spot. So, but Hook carved his own path, right? And there's a lot of guys in AEW that have carved their own path. Even the Outrunners, you know, that came up through OVW. Those guys started that gimmick. I'm assuming, right? I'm not trying to talk for them, but I watched them obviously transform into what they are now. And people gravitate to it because it's missing, because they don't want their intelligence to be just ruined when you watch. You know, if you get punched 15 times in the face and you come back and I still have this pretty face, it's like, oh, well, obviously your punches suck, right? Or this is fake. So you can't do that kind of stuff. But there's those guys in particular, because I've been wrestling with Shiloh, Magnum, just for years and years and years. And I love to see those guys doing what they're doing. And I know that it's organic. It's not forced. They've put in the time, and it's giving me the chills now, because I think about those guys. I think about other people that are doing it. And then, you know, there's body guys and whatnot, but what the heck, Joe Henry, the guy from
he's great.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, he's great with the singing and everything. Yeah,
But he realizes the entertainment aspect, and he's just like, okay. And then obviously another person that did a great job of it is Eli Drake, now LA Knight, because he understood the cadence, he understood the assignment, much like everything else. Like, what do they need or what's missing? If everybody's has long hair, cut your hair short. If everybody's wearing trunks, wear pants. If it, like, be different. It doesn't, to the victor goes the spoil when it comes to like how bold you are, and then standing on business, and then literally encapsulating it and taking the ball and running for it. So,
Yeah.
Why do you think you haven't gotten that opportunity to really show you have all the, you have pretty much all the what people would look for in a WWE and an AEW?
Timing. Just timing. I don't think that there's not a rhyme or reason for it. And, like, you don't question God's timing. Maybe it just wasn't time yet. Look at Ellsworth. Like, look at these guys that came in. Look at Spud, right? Look at what Rockstar Spud was able to do. Worked for years and years and years. Like, everything's timing. Look at what Bobby Lashley's been able to do, and just the crossover and everywhere that he's gone. Look at MVP. Look at what he's done. Look at what the Hardys have done. Look at what Chris Jericho has been able to do. Like, these people that can constantly reinvent themselves. Granted, but that's who I think of when I see myself, right? And it's just like, it's just not time yet. And you can't, it's not over, right? If I quit, then I lose. So then we could have a whole new story. Like, if this is the end of the chapter and I'm in a retirement home and Scott, we're having the same, like, what happened? I'd be like, well, and then it might be a different story. We're in the midst of things, right? You can get brought up and pushed back down at a moment's notice.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. Yeah.
It all takes time. What do you remember about why you wanted to get into wrestling? And what do you remember about why you decided to do Big Brother?
Why I wanted to get into professional wrestling, I wanted to be able to parlay my physique, right, and my fame from Big Brother and put it into a career. Granted, like, these guys are larger than life. I'm not the tallest guy, granted, but I am pretty wide, and I photograph just amazingly. And then when you put me on television, they're like, man, this guy's 6'7". Who knows how big? This guy's 300 pounds. I'm close to that, all right? Twisted Steel and sex appeal is still there. However, I'm a realist, okay? I'm from the Midwest, and, like, when I saw that, I'm like, man, that might be too far out of reach. When I saw The Miz do it, I'm just like, man, because of him, I have a chance. And I can parlay all of these accolades I've already accrued, the physique that's already there, and let's go off to the races, and I have to put myself in the best position to succeed. That vehicle was FCW at the time. Going into Big Brother, happenstance, right? I went to California because I knew in Iowa I had to mean something to somebody somewhere. I became the youngest natural professional bodybuilder in the country in Iowa. Almost did it when I was 19. I had to turn 20. Moved out to California. I was doing fitness modeling all over the country, and it was just a casting. And Robin Cass took a chance on me, and thank God. I just sent her a message recently, and I'm just like, I'm on House of Villains because literally in 2008, you took a chance on a kid from the Midwest, and you thought you were going to get this stereotypical Midwestern boy. And I took the opportunity and made it what it was, and then came back on Big Brother 11, came back on all these other seasons thereafter, became a shtick, parlayed that into professional wrestling, and the rest is history up until now.
Yeah. Well, one thing I will say, if there's anyone that knows how to promote himself, I think he's got that personally down. So.
And yes, and stick-to-itiveness. And, I so appreciate somebody that keeps it going, that keeps pushing through, that doesn't let, that there's this drive and that belief in themselves and doesn't let up. And I know what that's like when I do all my other projects as well. The best thing was meeting Jessie. We were at the best night. We were at the reception for the Emmys, and I met Jessie, and I'm like, oh my God, we're almost the same height. This is so unbelievably great.
You would never know watching TV, though.
I was like,
right.
This is amazing. Yes, there's somebody like a wrestler. That's like, what,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, no, absolutely. I remember. And there's more athletic talent and entertainment in professional wrestling today. I mean, it's almost like Cirque du Soleil. Like, these guys, like, I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of talent, but you have to be able to wrestle everybody, to your credit. Rey Mysterio can't go out there and start doing big man stuff, and the big man, the Undertaker, can't start doing Rey Mysterio stuff, which is why.
What do you think of Ospreay?
What's that?
Will Ospreay.
these guys, I mean, what I would much rather go out and flex and pose than have to do what he and many like Ricochet, all those guys, right? Like these hardcore matches, like for the birds, you can save them. There's a perfectly good ring. I'll wrestle in it. I'll let you all boo at me and I'll flex and I'll stand there and flex for 5 minutes until everybody hates me. And then somebody like, listen, and then I'll still win, right? Okay. Everybody can see how awesome I am, and then I'll still win, and I won't have to do a fraction of what they do.
Yeah.
Like, kudos to them. Kudos
lastly,
to them.
well, for me anyway, is I think New York would make a great wrestler just by her promo skills. So maybe you want to get with her, see what maybe she can manage you. I don't know, but I just see that future for her.
Off the wall, off the cuff responses you could possibly imagine. Imagine just just a I don't even know, you know, pulling bingo balls out of one of those gimmicks and just with words that just don't even make sense.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just a soup, and kudos to her because she can articulate it just masterfully. But yeah, you cannot rely on somebody like that when you're inside House of Villains as somebody that's even remotely close to being reliable. I'm just like, I don't even know what she's saying half the time. So.
All right, Jesse, thank you so much for spending some time today. Watch Mr. PEC-Tacular Thursdays on on House of Villains, flexing and manipulating, and we're rooting for you to
healing.
We're rooting for you to like snowball them all. All right. Everybody have a good day. Thanks, Jesse. Good to see you.
Scott, I'm so glad to be on here. Thank you. Thank you sincerely. There's two.
All right. No problem.
Thank you guys.
See you later.